So I have defended Ben Simmons as well. And I go as far as to say is that he is a jump shot and a consistent free throw shooter away from being a legit MVP candidate, really being in the conversation. Not
First
some
ballot
random
Hall of Famer.
Very well, yeah, you win enough MVP. Certainly, we can start talking about that. But I just can't for the
score. You score 20 to 25 points a game the way he is. He's a Hall of Famer. There's nobody denying that.
Yeah. No, okay. So we're on the same page as far as that goes. So you think that he could actually be? You agree as far as that goes that he could actually be that MVP candidate if he does develop that shot?
Of course, but it's been 4 years, and I've been on the train specifically this year of. He's 24 years old, maybe after the season, like he'll figure it out again, give him another chance, just lock him in Herb McGee's basement, throw away the key, and develop some sort of form or shot. But after the last 2.5 games, like it's just I've never seen a mental breakdown like that in all of sports ever.
I want to go back to that's why I kind of, as far as Ben Simmons goes, that's kind of why I go back to the most embarrassing, because like all the other guys like tried, and Ben Simmons certainly tried defensively, but like we knew that he could do that. Offensively speaking, the ball that he gave up to Thibault is still in my head. You mentioned taking it to Trae Young. There were numerous occasions where Ben Simmons got out on a fast break, and it was Trae Young between him and the basket, and he chose to dump it off to Matisse Thybulle on the wing.
Yep.
Like that's never the right option.
Yep. Yeah, I 100% agree. And it's I don't know. Maybe send him to Vienna, have him to be studied and worked with like by a bunch of psychiatrists. Like I just don't know. I think what Stephen A. Smith said today about him being surrounded by family, I think that has something to do with it, and just basically being told like, "Oh, you're the man, you're the man, you're the man." Like I think that has something to do with it. But the only way he stays in Philadelphia and survives is if he comes out next year and legitimately scores 25 points a game. Other than that, he's a dead man walking. He's a dead man walking. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. I just don't see it. If it hasn't happened already, I don't see it happening in all season.
I think a lot of it comes down to value in return, like what you could get in return for Ben Simmons. And I think it was Woj that put it out there yesterday or 2 days ago now that said his season ended with a thud. Not a bang, a thud. So people are looking at that right now. Like, are you really going to be able to get max value in return for what Ben Simmons might have got you, say, before the postseason?
Max value for a max contract.
Yeah,
he is paid a lot, and keep in mind he has 4 years left.
4 years
He's
left.
Only got 2 years, and B kind of threw him under the bus. Like, what's Embiid thinking here? Like, this has got to be his and Morey's team. If Embiid doesn't want him here, there have been reports like they're not necessarily boys, Embiid and Simmons, but they're cordial. They've been working towards the same goal. If Embiid just says, F this, I don't want him on my team anymore, he's out. It doesn't matter what value you get. He's got to be gone.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I certainly think that Joel Embiid has wanted to work with Ben Simmons in terms of bringing him along. And after the Matisse Thybulle, the dump off to Matisse Thybulle for the attempted dunk, late in the game and all that, you could see Joel Embiid calling him over like, dude, what was that? And it looked like Ben said something like I slipped or the ball slipped out or something, whatever. But he definitely was trying to say, dude, what the hell was that? With throwing his hands up in the air. You did mention Doc Rivers. I do want to go back to that. I want to examine that a little further. What would you have done in this series instead of Furkan Korkmaz? Because I still can't believe for the life of me that it was Furkan over Thybulle for the starting lineup. What direction would you have gone?
I mean, Furkan's another one he's had too many chances here. He's out. If you can't hit your open shots consistently, get the hell out of here. I know he said to Brett Brown, like, either start me or trade me or whatever was reported to say. Pack your bags, go back to Turkey, go wherever you want, play Euro ball, get off this frick. If he's had way too many shots in big time scenarios where you could step up, and he didn't. As far as starting Thybulle, I get not wanting to keep him and Ben on the court at the same time. I get wanting to split them up. Thybulle kind of got taken advantage of too late in the series. That can't be overstated. But I mean, once Danny Green went down, I don't hate starting Thybulle, starting Furkan, but I don't really see what else like could have happened. Even Maxey, bringing him out there in Game 6 where he absolutely studded out and gave him the win. Game 7, they expected him to basically do the exact same thing. And I agree, you give him a shot, but like you can't trust a rookie out there in Game 7 to just continually like match that balls out performance. Like where the hell was Shake in Game 7 after he stepped up in Game 2 and even had a better performance or a decent performance in Game 3. Like he just didn't really play the rest of the series, especially in Game 7. Like I don't get some of these moves and the matchups that they had against like. Why weren't they pounding Gallinari, who stinks, or Bogdanovich, who stinks on defense? Why are we just having Joel Embiid catch the ball 20 feet out, back to the basket, and say, "Hey, do something"? And I agree that has a lot to do with Ben, who just sat on the freaking hoop and did nothing, like just absolutely nothing, like seemingly like. I know it's not the first time he's ever done that, but like. Move away from the ball, man. Draw up something. Do anything to get Seth an open look, or at least get Embiid down below, working at getting everybody in foul trouble. It was just a very disheartening, disgusting performance by Glenn Rivers. It just really was.